Abuja-Kaduna expressway, which has been stalled for over 5 years.
And in international news from London, North Korea has confirmed custody of Travis King in its first response to requests for information.
Mr. Ajibola Basiru from Osun State as its national secretary. The party ratified the appointments during its 12th National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja today. Former President Muhammadu Buhari and former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo had excused themselves from the meeting, which was attended by President Bola Tinubu. Our correspondent Dele Omoyeni reports.
The hall is filled with leaders of the All Progressives Congress, governors, members of the National Working Committee of the party, as well as National Assembly members.
Headquarters of the party.
This is the first National Executive Committee meeting of the party since President Bola Tinubu assumed office, and he uses the opportunity of the opening speech to deliver his verdict on the 2023 presidential election.
The party is in your hand. But let's redirect this party. Let's show the rest of the country that we are a party united for a purpose, and that purpose, development, progress, and prosperity, will not forgive us if we fear of that path. We honor their wishes, but we coasted to victory. It is an honorable thing. Yes, we are facing challenges in court, and I say this is one of the most free and fair elections in the history of Nigeria.
The meeting then proceeds into a closed-door session to ratify the appointments for the seat of the national chairman and the national secretary.
For the unanimous support by the members on the appointment on the election of His Excellency Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and Senator Basiru Ajibola as the national secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC.
Following the election, the appointees are sworn in.
I will devote myself to the service and well-being of the members of the party and the people of Nigeria. So help me God.
In his acceptance speech, Mr. Ganduje vows to enthrone internal democracy within the party.
Some important reforms will be carried out in the party, aligning with the current political landscape. This will include 1. Using retired technology, membership, registration into our party. Whereby the current figure we have for the registration is over 41 million. But the result of the last election, we are able to score 8 million.
Some members of the party have some words of advice for the new national chairman.
Well, for being one of the former executive of party, I've enjoyed party administration before and I've suffered party administration before. My advice to them would be they should be calm, patient, and do justice and be fair to all. Political party administration is about giving everybody a sense of belonging and carrying people along.
Following the election of former Kano Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress at this 12th NEC meeting, the chairman says his first responsibility is ensuring that the party wins all governorship elections upcoming in the next few months. Dele Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, efforts towards resolving the leadership crisis in Niger Republic continues, with the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, President Bola Tinubu, dispatching a delegation to the country. A statement by the presidential spokesman, Ajuri Ngilali, explains that the action is in line with the resolution reached at the end of the extraordinary summit of ECOWAS held last weekend in Abuja. The delegation is headed by former Nigerian head of state, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, with the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, and the president of the ECOWAS Commission, Umar Aliyu Toure, as members. The president has also sent a separate delegation led by Ambassador Babagana Kingibe to engage with the leaders of Libya and Algeria on the Niger crisis. Both General Abubakar and Ambassador Kingibe spoke on their missions after their meeting with the president.
We have just been given our marching orders to go to Niger and convey the feelings of our heads of states in the ECOWAS region, that they are not happy with what has happened, and they gave them an ultimatum that the coup peace should desist from what they are doing and give back power to an elected president. And again, to make sure that this message is sent loud and clear to them.
Of course, this kind of situation requires solidarity. It requires coordination with all parties that could bring that are relevant to the situation. In that regard, as you know, Libya and Algeria are also very important neighbors of Niger. So my mission is to go there with a message from President Tinubu to brief them on the ECOWAS position and solicit their solidarity and cooperation.
And now to the fight against oil theft. A vessel allegedly carrying crude oil suspected to have been stolen has been intercepted in the Koko area of Delta State by the Tantita Security Services. The interception of the 1,117 tons of vessel carrying about 8,100 barrels of crude happened yesterday, Wednesday, August the 2nd, 2023. Tantita Security Outfit is the private security company owned by government Ekpemu Polo, popularly called Tompolo, an ex-Niger Delta agitator who recently got a contract from the federal government to protect oil pipelines. Operatives of Tantita Security say the vessel, tagged MT Prizal, was flying a Togolese flag and was being escorted by a Navy boat led by a senior naval commander. The Tantita operatives say they were met with resistance from the Navy boat escorting the vessel, and that the naval commander threatened to deal decisively with the Tantita operatives. The private operatives said they refused to back down. The National Security Advisor and the Chief of Naval Staff were eventually contacted, and they gave the Tantita operatives authorization to inspect the vessel. Upon entrance into the ship, the security company say they noticed that the vessel was authorized to carry products by the Navy, but did not have any approvals from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency for the said voyage. However, the vessel is said to have naval clearance without necessary authorization from relevant agency of government. The incident and discovery on Wednesday comes on the heels of the outcry by the federal government that illegal trade of stolen crude oil inflicts significant economic losses to the tune of 2.3 trillion naira in 12 months, a loss that experts say could impact up to 25% of the nation's crude oil production. Recent announcements of removal of petrol subsidies caused nationwide demonstration by workers' unions. Also recently, another ex-Niger Delta agitator, Asari Dokubo, told journalists at the State House after meeting with President Bola Tinubu that some corrupt military officers are involved in the stealing of Nigeria's crude. Last month, security operatives of the Joint Task Force, Operation Delta Safe, in collaboration with Tantita Security Services, set ablaze a vessel carrying barrels of stolen crude oil in the Escravos area of Delta State. Meanwhile, the military says more than 199 suspected terrorists, kidnappers, as well as perpetrators of oil theft with their collaborators across the country have been neutralized by troops of Operation Heading K. This was made known in Abuja by the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, during a press briefing on the ongoing military operations. He said that the troops, in conjunction with hybrid forces, carried out the operations in the last 2 weeks. And the face-off between the federal government and the organized labor movement may be far from over, as the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has given the federal government up to Friday, August the 11th, to withdraw its court summons or risk a nationwide industrial action. The decision to embark on an indefinite strike is part of the 6-point resolutions of the NLC at its National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. In a statement, the union explained that it has also directed all its members to go on a total strike each time its leadership is summoned to court. According to the statement, the NLC will embark on an indefinite strike Monday, August 14th, if the Ministry of Justice refuses to withdraw the summons. The statement also notes that the union has suspended its protests following the intervention of the National Assembly and the President. A legal luminary, Mr. Femi Falana, has challenged the federal government to seek redress in court if it feels the labor unions have violated the June 5th ex parte order of the Industrial Court. According to Mr. Falana, who spoke on our political program, Politics Today, there are solutions to the economic challenges. We'll return to that story a little later. To legal matters, a court party has closed its case at the Rivers Governorship Election Tribunal after fielding 10 witnesses. One of the witnesses, Channels Television, who was subpoenaed to lay as exhibit video of the declaration of the election result. The party is challenging the emergence of Siminalayi Fubara as governor in the governorship election. At the resumed hearing, the 10th witness, who is a subpoena witness, Moses Salvation, a state collation officer, told the tribunal that different ballot papers were found in some of the local government areas. He states specifically that ballot papers from Akwa Ibom State was found at Ward 19, Kana local government area. When asked on the cross-examination if collation agents were prevented from carrying out the electoral duties, he answered in the affirmative. He, however, adds that he visited the few local governments he could and got reports from other local government areas. Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Cletus Emefinoye, adjourned till Monday, August 7th, for the defense to open their case. In part two, after the break, the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee moves to investigate delay in the completion of the Abuja-Kaduna expressway, which has been stalled for over 5 years. That's in a moment. Do stay with us.
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 Naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, will perform the groundbreaking ceremony of the Gwagwalada Independent Power Plant GIPP project. The event is scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Friday, 4th August 2023. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, GIPP project site, Gwagwalada, FCT Abuja. The event will also be broadcast live on major TV stations nationwide. Be part of this historic event. Announcer, NNPC Limited.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
Fresh Your Mega Billions promo could make us millionaires.
Yes, buy Fresh Your 1 liter pack Open the gap to reveal the unique PIN. Send the unique PIN to 8011 to get free instant airtime and an SMS notifying you of your automatic entry into a raffle draw, where you could be one of 10 lucky winners of the grand prize of 1 million naira each or 100,000 naira each. You also stand a chance to win an instant cash prize of 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira daily. Fresh Show Mega Millions promo. Bring home the goodness.
The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, will perform the groundbreaking ceremony of the Gwagwalada Independent Power Plant GIPP project. The event is scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Friday, 4th August 2023. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, GIPP project site, Gwagwalada, FCT Abuja. The event will also be broadcast live on major TV stations nationwide. Be part of this historic event. Announcer, NNPC Limited.
Energy for today, energy for tomorrow.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Former Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and Senator Ajibola Bashiru emerge as National Chairman and Secretary of the All Progressives Congress. The President dispatched a special delegation led by former Head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar to Niger Republic as part of efforts towards resolving the country's political crisis. Vessel carrying over 8,000 barrels of crude oil suspected to have been stolen intercepted in the Kokor area of Delta State by Tantita Security Services. And Nigeria Labour Congress gives federal government up to Friday, August the 11th, to withdraw its court summons or risk a nationwide industrial action. We're back to the earlier story. Legal luminary Mr. Femi Falana, who has challenged the federal government to seek redress in court if it feels like the labor unions have violated the June the 5th ex parte order of the industrial court. He was speaking on our political program today.
NSA and TUC have not violated the ex parte order of the National Industrial Court issued on the 5th of June this year. In the first place, the ex parte order is not supposed to last indefinitely and tie the hands of labor perpetually. But what we have done is to make it clear that what labor did yesterday and what the labor movement intends to do until that order is lifted is to engage in protests, rallies, public meetings, which are not prohibited by the court. The court simply ordered workers not to embark on strike. Workers did not embark on strike yesterday. They had peaceful protests all over the country. I'm talking of the labor movement and civil society organizations. Marched peacefully yesterday to express their discontent and their frustration with the economic program of the government. So the question of contempt does not arise, but we have challenged the government, go to court. If they are sure that labor has violated the order, we shall join issues with the government in court. The president made the point abundantly clear that I understand your pain, I feel your pain, but we have no alternatives. That's where I have some problem. There are alternatives to the neoliberal policies that are being implemented. There are alternatives to the economic program. There are alternatives to the peripheral capitalist system being operated in Nigeria. And for me, much as the speech demonstrates the concern of the president, you have to look at the fact that with the ongoing devaluation of the currency through dollarization, whatever amount you give out there will be consumed by inflation. And that has to be examined. We must reject the insistence of external forces.
To other stories now. For those who may not have cited former President Muhammadu Buhari since he handed over power on May the 29th, the visit of the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has provided a good opportunity for that. Mrs. Tinubu paid today a courtesy visit to the former president at his country home in Daura, Katsina State. A statement from the office of the First Lady says the visit was to check on the former president and thank him for the fatherly support he always gives. The First Lady was accompanied on the visit by the wife of the Vice President, Hajia Nana Shatima, wife of the Governor of Katsina State, Hajia Dikorada, and wife of the Speaker of the Katsina State House of Assembly, Hajia Nasir Daura. In his remark, the former president expressed appreciation to the First Lady for taking out time to visit him.
She came to see how I am settling down, and I am settling down very well. Thank you very much.
And to aviation now. Investigations have commenced into the accident involving a Jabiru J430 light airplane with registration number 5NCCQ in Lagos on Tuesday. And that's according to the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau. The aircraft was on a test flight when it crashed and burst into flames around Oba Akran. Correspondent Kelly Giga visited the scene of the crash and reports.
A viral footage obtained from Tower Alloys shows the moment of the crash in Obakran area in Lagos. And 24 hours after the incident, emergency responders are on the ground to finalize the clearing of the area. Normalcy has returned. Residents and those who have businesses here are still in shock, but remain thankful.
My happiness and joy is that they went straight to the incident and make sure no life is lost.
Bright and Oluwafemi were the first to respond. They present some demands to the government.
Can you see my hand? Fire, can you see my hand? And I have evidence with my phone. Evidence is with me. See my hand, fire. So all those gutter yesterday, all those the powder of fire extinguisher, I swallow everything yesterday. They come try to say take 1 naira, none. But I beg Governor Sanwo-Olu and our youth president that should help us to talk to Governor. They should do anything they afford to do it for us.
That you should not forget us, and we need the help, so you should not forget us. It's not leave us like that, so you should come and rescue us or help us too, and God will bless him.
As we continue our coverage, men from the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau arrive at the scene of the incident. We are forced to secretly film, as we are told they are not allowed to grant interviews. On what could have possibly caused the crash, aviation expert and MD of Africa International Limited, Captain Shehu Yar, declines comment, citing professional ethics.
The incident or accident that is under investigation by the Accident Investigation Bureau, you are not supposed to make a comment, either positive or negative, till they finish. And normally when they finish, they come out with a report that is going to be useful to tell you what happened and what to avoid so that it doesn't happen again. So for now, no professional will give you an opinion about it. It's unfortunate, it's sad, it has happened, but we are lucky it's not fatal.
I am at the exact spot where the crash occurred, and I can tell you that the crash could have been more devastating for many reasons. Let me tell you why. The first is that a gas pipeline runs underneath these gutters here, and we can confirm that because we have 2 signposts that confirms that indeed there is a pipeline that runs underneath this gutter. This pipeline here runs through to a gas plant at the back of this street, just a few meters away from here. And we can also tell you that there's also a gas station just to my right here. We can confirm indeed that we have factories on this area, and we understand these factories are run by this gas that is supplied by this gas plant. So it could have indeed been more horrific if there was a spread of fire. From the Obakran area here in Lagos, Kelly Giga, Channels Television News.
In another aviation-related matter, the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has suspended with immediate effect the airport car hire service at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. In a statement released by the Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Abdullahi Yakubu Funtua, the move is as a result of the unresolved factional dispute among the car hire operators, which it says has been affecting airport car hire service operations. Following the suspension, FAAN is asking the general public and all airport users to use secure alternative means of transportation or e-hailing services in and out of the airport until normalcy returns. And we're in Abuja for more stories. Victor Matthias, over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you and welcome to the nation's capital. We begin in the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives is moving to investigate the delay in the completion of the Abuja-Kaduna expressway, which has been stalled for over 5 years. Now, during a meeting with officials of the Ministry of Works, the chairman of the House Ad hoc Committee, Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki, notes that the House is committed to getting to the root cause of the delay. The House leadership had earlier set up an ad hoc committee with a 5-week mandate to complete the investigation on the stalled project.
The House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee summoned officials of the Ministry of Works over the delay in the completion of the Abuja-Kaduna expressway.
Your own updated presentation.
The chairman of the committee observes that the project was awarded in 2018.
Before us here is a matter of concern to the House of Representatives and Nigeria. To that effect, a motion with regards to the completion of the Kaduna or Abuja to Kaduna to Kano Highway was brought to the House, where we were mandated to sit down with the relevant agencies and report back to the House within 4 weeks the reason why we have delay in the completion of that route. The total contract sum, if you look at it, revised 355 billion, and so far 125 billion released, and only 20% of the work is being done.
The ministry had earlier set the first quarter of 2024 as a completion date for the 375.9-kilometer dual carriageway, which extends to Kano. The permanent secretary in the ministry, Mahmouda Maman, gave an update on the state of work on the road and blames the stalled project on lack of funds and insecurity.
Kano Dual Carriage Expressway was among the first that I also inspected upon my assumption in the ministry. Because of the importance of the road, when I read the report, I make it as a responsibility that, let me go and assess the fiscal condition and the situations on the road. And we went, we saw what it is, and the contractor, just like he said, gave us commitment that all things being equal by May 2025, the fiscal structure, the construction aspect is going to be completed. He mentioned the challenges that actually militate against the early completion of the road, mainly the issue of security and initially to funding.
The committee promised to unravel factors that have delayed the project for over 5 years and meets the 4 weeks mandate given by the House leadership to complete the investigation.
In Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki says the Museum of West African Arts being set up in Benin City will be a game changer in the creative arts industry in the country. Governor Obaseki, who inspected the level of work at the project site in the state capital, added that besides boosting the economy, the museum is expected to create about 30,000 direct and indirect jobs when completed.
In the creative arts, as a basis for diversifying the economy and creating jobs for young people in this country. We can no longer rely on revenues from oil proceeds from Abuja. We have to look inwards and see what competitive or comparative advantage we have as a people, and how do we leverage those advantages to create an economy that will help us grow our GDP. In terms of just direct employment of people in this facility, it will be in excess of 625 people. In terms of indirect employment, you are looking at almost 30,000 people that will be employed as a result of this infrastructure we are building. What exactly is this infrastructure? It's a research facility. It's a storage facility. It is a display facility. And it's a facility that is helping us collaborate with other institutions across the world so that we can help conserve artifacts, conserve artworks, do research, because we can't always continue to rely on foreigners to tell us about who we are.
Now to other development issues in the Niger Delta, where the interventionist agency appears set to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Company, NLNG, to drive growth in the region. The agreement was reached during a visit by a delegation from the company to the NDDC headquarters of the Niger Delta Development Commission in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. According to the NDDC, the adoption of the public-private partnership is a core policy to drive sustainable development in the area.
In line with the policy of the executive management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC, to drive the development of the region through public-private partnership model, the NDDC Managing Director and management are meeting with top management of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Company, NLNG Limited. This meeting at the NDDC headquarters in Port Harcourt, River State, is to streamline partnership for the sustainable development of the oil-rich region.
For us in LNG, we have a theme that says we're a globally competitive LNG company helping to build a better Nigeria. Part of building a better Nigeria for us is partnerships. And in developing partnerships, through the government-recognized development agency, the NDDC, we also spread out and reach out to the rest of the Niger Delta, since we can't do that all alone.
The NDDC Managing Director commends NLNG for reaching out to the Commission for Partnership, saying that the legal team is currently studying the proposed Memorandum of Understanding. He explains that the agency has decided to adopt the PPP model to provide alternative sources of funding for key development projects and programs.
We believe development is the only tool to achieve peace. So thank you for partnering with us to ensure that there is lasting peace and development in the Niger Delta. We believe this journey that we started is going to end successfully.
The Commission's Chief Executive Officer says following the aggressive reforms carried out by the current executive management, the NDDC has seen appreciable offers for partnership towards the development. The official signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the NDDC and the NLNG is expected to happen in weeks. Residents of Niger Delta region can't wait to know the component of the partnership as they yearn for sustainable dividends from oil and gas exploration in the region.
Now in the northeast, the famous Yankari Resort and Safari in Bauchi State may witness a major facelift in the coming days. Now this comes as Governor Bala Mohammed has met with a team of UK-based investors who are said to be interested in developing the resort. For Governor Mohammed, the key areas of interest for the state in the reserve are security and revenue generation, but he notes that Bauchi is also open to partnerships in other sectors, especially agriculture.
Yankari is a very prime area that so many countries, so many investors were interested. But we have not zeroed on anybody. But seeing the kind of commitment and the pamphlet I read about you and what you intend to do, I think we are going to do business with you, starting from there. Because I come from there, but certainly every citizen of Bauchi is interested in Yankari. not only in the animals or the fauna and flora, but because of the heritage of Yankari. It's a World Heritage Center that has been abandoned. And of course, you have been there will help us with the security of the forest, the security of the area. And it has a lot of things that you can do in terms of tourism, to develop wells for yourself, to develop IGR for the state, as well as put us on the map. In terms of ease of doing business, we'll do as much as we can to make sure that you come in as quickly as possible. What we want, so many people have come and left, and then there is no any tangible thing being done.
Well, we have to wait and see how that partnership will turn out in the Pearl of Tourism. But that's it from the nation's capital. It's back to Millicent in Lagos.
Many thanks, Victor. And we continue here with a procession and candlelight service which has been held for the late Dr. Ware Diaso at the doctor's quarters of the General Hospital, Lagos Island. In attendance were members of the Nigerian Medical Association, consultants, colleagues and friends. Various speakers at the event paid glowing tribute to the late doctor for her commitment to the medical profession and her love for people. Meanwhile, the leadership of the NMA in Lagos have vowed to pursue the case to a logical conclusion and bring those culpable to book.
We just finished procession for our dear sister, Dr. Diaso, that passed on the 1st of August. We just finished, and NMA Lagos is setting up its own investigative panel that will start working from tomorrow. We have members of NBA, members of NSE, and also NMA on the committee to do due justice to what is the root cause analysis of this dastardly and very, very preventable accident that killed one of our young, vibrant and upcoming doctors. So we appeal that everybody in Lagos should support this move so we can change the trajectory of healthcare in Lagos and bring sanctions and prosecution for those that killed our doctor. We know that healthcare in Lagos is not as excellent as it looks. We need a lot of revamping. A lot of things need to change, from welfare of doctor to access to healthcare to availability of materials that needs to be good working place and working conditions for medical doctors and seeing patients in our hospitals. So after this particular investigation, we're going to have another audit committee to look at all the general hospitals in Lagos to see where the problems are, what we need to do going forward, because we want to give quality healthcare to Lagosians as the case may be. Our death will not be business as usual. We'll get answers. People will go to jail. People that are responsible will go to jail. We'll get names. We'll shame them, and this will be the end of this kind of preventable death in our healthcare system. And there will be workplace policies of safety for our medical doctors in Lagos.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the dearly departed. To some company news now. Verve International, a Pan-African and multinational financial technology and payment card brand owned by InterSwitch Group, has unveiled the 4th edition of its Verve Good Life promo in Lagos, Nigeria. The company says the promo is its own way of extending support to Nigerians and making them believe in their dreams of living a good life, regardless of the present economic situation in the country.
Verve appeared not to be relenting in its commitment in giving the good life to its customers as it unveils Verve Good Life Promo 4.0. While the current economic situation is hitting hard on Nigerians, Verve says it is meeting the most prevailing needs of its customers with 1-year house rent support, free school fees, 6 months electricity bills, as well as 200,000 naira worth of shopping spree.
As the brand that is committed to bringing you the good life, we are, in collaboration with our partners seated here with us today, positioned to offer a season of refreshing when it matters most. Hence, this year, the Verve National Consumer Promo is particularly focused on easing the burden of Nigerians.
At Verve, we have always believed in the power of the ever-expanding community, and this promo is a testament to that belief. As we navigate through challenging times today, it becomes more crucial than ever to stand together, to support one another, and to offer a helping hand whenever and wherever possible.
And then the official launch of the promo.
A chance to transact and experience the joy of winning. Whether it's a free rent or a cozy home, free fueling of your car, a hassle-free school semester funding, uninterrupted power supply, or the excitement of a shopping spree, the Verve Good Life 4.0 promo has got you covered. Join us to experience the good life with Verve.
This promo is open to all Verve card users, giving them the chance to win exciting prizes when they transact at least twice weekly with a Verve card on automated teller machines, that's the ATMs, point-of-sale POS terminals, and online platforms.
The promo is open to all Verve card holders, right? And what does that mean? So it's possible that, some people don't have Verve cards today, right? And there's no need to worry. If you don't have your Verve card today, you can, go to your bank or to any, to the nearest bank close to you and ask for a Verve card. Once you have your Verve card, you are good to go.
Verve says the promo will run from August the 3rd, 2023 to January the 31st, 2024.
Thank you very much.
Time now for business news. Here's Ann Wilder.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Millicent. Hello and welcome to Business News. After 51 years of operation in Nigeria, British pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline GSK has now announced plans to end its prescription medicines and vaccines business in the country. In a statement sent to the Nigerian Exchange Limited, the multinational pharmaceutical company, which was incorporated in Nigeria in June 1971 and commenced business the following year, says it will transition to a third-party direct distribution model for its pharmaceutical products. At the same time, the company says it is now working with its advisors to agree on next steps, while it plans to submit a scheme of arrangement to the Securities and Exchange Commission for possible return of cash to its local shareholders. GlaxoSmithKline, which was formerly branded as Abicham at its incorporation, is well known for products like Panadol, Ribena, Lucozade, Maclean's, Andrews liver salt, among other products. As part of commitments to reducing carbon footprints and in line with the President's directive to provide cheaper alternative fuel to motorists, the Nigeria National Corporation Company Limited has now announced a strategic partnership with NIPCO Gas Limited to develop compressed natural gas stations. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, says the collaboration aims to expand CNG infrastructure, improve access to CNG, and accelerate the adoption of cheaper and cleaner alternatives to fuel for all vehicles.
Once fully operational, the stations can service our over 200,000 vehicles daily, thereby significantly reducing the cost of automobile fuel to Nigerians and reducing the cost of transportation. The project will be rolled out in phases. The first phase, comprising of 21 CNG stations, will support intra-city transportation and be ready by the first quarter of 2024. While the second phase, comprising 35 CNG stations, will support intercity transportation and will be ready in 2024 also. This will be further complemented by the additional 56 stations to be deployed by NNPC Retail across the country. NIPCO Gas is currently operating 14 CNG stations across Nigeria and has converted over 7,000 vehicles to run on CNG. NIPCO's technical competency and field experience will bolster this initiative's success and amplify its positive impact on the nation's economy. This initiative would leverage Nigeria's abundant natural gas resources to bring multiple benefits to Nigerians, including access to cheaper fuel, reduce cost of transportation, reduce carbon emissions, create new businesses, and chains and streams of job opportunities that will unfold.
The bullish sentiments persisted in the local bourse today. Investors' interest in MTN Nigeria lifted the benchmark index by more than 1% at the close of trade. Let's hear the details from Mini John Mekwa.
Well, thank you so much, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Report. I'm glad to say that we are back to the 65,000 level. A second positive session at the NGX has given the bull a firmer hold at the NGX. So let's look at the numbers now. Looking at the all-share index, it's 1.55%, much better than what we had yesterday. And that's the 65,000 that we are celebrating, 65,263.06. Market cap back to 35.5 trillion naira. Now, taking advantage of the drop in prices, that's what investors did. And they feasted on a whole lot of stocks, starting with the most liquid. That's when we're looking at the counters now. The banking stocks, they got a lot of positive attention today. The figures all gained. So it's not a surprise that banking is up 3.19%. Another counter that has been very positive today is consumer goods, 2.24%. And that's thanks to Dangote Sugar. Dangote Sugar gained yesterday, gained again today, retaining that positive. It gained 3 naira 25 kobo to close at 35 naira 90 kobo. Nigerian breweries also added to that. But guess who really moved the market today? There you have MTN Nigeria. So if you invested in MTN Nigeria just today, each of your stocks gained 17 kobo. And MTN Nigeria moved 310 million naira around the market. That's the value of its trade today. Kudos to MTN Nigeria for moving the market and keeping the ball on the floor of the NGX. We'll see what will happen tomorrow, final trading day of the week. That's it from the Stock Market Report. Back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Rini. Well, we hope to see another green tomorrow. But let's check out the closing figures for other major markets around the world. And that's Business News tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. The rest of the news at 10 continues now with Millicent.
Now to experience it. You first. First Bank.
Thanks, Anne. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty at a Washington, D.C. court during his third appearance as a criminal defendant in 4 months, denying charges of conspiring to obstruct and overturn the 2020 election result. Today, he appeared before Magistrate Judge Obdayaya. Another judge, Tanya Chukken, will handle the criminal trial at a later date. Here's Simon Pusey with other international stories and around the world in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. North Korea has confirmed custody of Travis King in its first response to requests for information on the US soldier's whereabouts. The 23-year-old private dashed across the border from South Korea on the 18th of July while on a guided tour. The United Nations command said it would not give more details about Pyongyang's response at this time, saying it did not want to interfere with the efforts to bring him home. However, the reply indicates Pyongyang could be ready to start negotiating. The United States has ordered the partial evacuation of its embassy in Niger following last week's coup. Hundreds of foreign nationals have already been evacuated from the country, and on Sunday the French embassy was attacked by protesters.
Par devoir envers le peuple nigérien et conscient de la gravité du moment que vit notre pays.
Coup leader General Chani has warned against any interference in the internal affairs of the country.
We remain committed to the people of Niger and our relationship with the people of Niger, and we remain diplomatically engaged at the highest levels. That's something that will continue. I will also say say that the safety and security of our personnel and of U.S. citizens overseas is our highest priority. We constantly monitor events on the ground and make decisions based on what's appropriate to safeguard our personnel. We're monitoring the situation on the ground and making the decisions we need to ensure their security now, but I don't have any further announcements at this time.
The self-declared new leader of Niger says the country is on a transitional path to democratic elections, 1 week after he ousted the democratically elected president Mohamed Bazoum. It comes as protests in support of the coup and against sanctions take place to mark Niger's Independence Day, despite an official ban on demonstrations. Protesters are also demanding the departure of French troops which are stationed in Niger to help it fight an Islamist insurgency. The Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, has imposed sanctions on Niger and said it could authorize the use of force if the coup leader does not restore Bazoum's presidency within a week from last Sunday. Fighting continues to be reported in several areas of Ethiopia's Amhara region between local militias and government troops. Clashes are taking place on the outskirts of Gondar, one of the biggest cities in the region. Residents say transport services have stopped with intense fighting around the city's airport. People in Amhara have confirmed that mobile data services have been cut in some of the major cities and towns within the region, including the capital Bahir Dar. There are also reports of prisons and police stations being broken into in some towns. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan says the military is petrified of an election which is expected to take place later this year. He alleged that fascists are leading the country into the dark ages. Mr. Khan was elected in 2018, ruled for just under 4 years, and was then ousted in a parliamentary no-confidence vote last year. Observers say a big reason was for him falling out of favour with the powerful military. Rescuers have evacuated residents in trucks and boats from flooded cities in China's northern Hebei. Footage carried by the state broadcaster CCTV showed residents jumping onto rescue boats amid historical flooding in Hebei's Jiaozhou city, where many residents are still trapped in their homes by floodwater. The waters could take up to a month to recede in Hebei, where Jiaozhou is the hardest hit city. As of Thursday, more than 1.2 million people in Hebei had to be taken to safety. And followers of Pope Francis have celebrated as the leader of the Catholic Church held an event for students in Lisbon. Catholics from around the world travelled to join the World Youth Day event at Lisbon's Catholic University. The pontiff then met and spoke with children at a school in Cascais. Before putting the finishing touches to a painting on the wall. The Pope is in Portugal to mark World Youth Day, a week-long festival of religious and cultural events staged by the Church every few years in cities around the world. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel's studios in Lagos.
Thanks, Simon. We'll begin with a fantastic progress by reigning FIBA Women's Afrobasket champions Niger the Tigress, who advanced a record 4th consecutive final and their 6th in the history of the championship. The Tigress achieved the feat this evening when they beat host Rwanda 79-48 in what was seen as a one-sided semi-final, where Nigeria's Emi Okonkwo was again our top performer with 23 points, 10 rebounds and 2 assists. After a 2-day break, the Super Falcons returned to training ahead of the round of 16 tie against the Lionesses of England. Our correspondent in Brisbane, Australia, who is covering that event, Cecilia Omorogwe, brings us an update from the camp.
It's back to business for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. They begin training after they had 2 days off given by the technical crew. And during these 2 days, they visited the Mount Coot Forest in Brisbane. And also had the time to stretch their legs, just visiting places in Brisbane to enjoy the atmosphere.
Is it worse than last time? Yeah, we're doing worse.
Now they're back in training, ready to go ahead for the game against England, which will be played right here in Brisbane on Monday. And the players are really looking forward to this because for them, England is one of the biggest teams in the world, having won the European Championships just last year.
We saw what they did against China. We watched the game and we kind of have an idea of how they play. And we're not going to make the same mistake the Chinese made. So we have a game plan we're working on, on how to, take them on and all of that. And hopefully it's going to work to our own favor. Hopefully we'll come out on top on Monday with the game plan we have.
Honestly, I'm just so excited to play them. I obviously know a lot of the players. I grew up playing with a lot of them as well, so I know them more than just teammates, but as friends as well. Obviously, it was like a different point in my life when I was playing for them, so it's almost, for me, it's nice, like two different parts of my life kind of coming together to be able to play this game. It's no, I'm really looking forward to it.
From the FC Lions Stadium right here in Brisbane, Cecilia Mogbe for Channels Television News.
Brilliant, Cecilia. Meanwhile, Morocco have reached the last 16 on their Women's World Cup debut after beating Colombia 1-0. Although the South Americans progress as Group H winners, Anissa Lamari scored the only goal via rebound after captain Gislan Chebak's penalty was saved, and Morocco will face France, while Colombia will play Jamaica in Melbourne. And that's it on Sports News. Millicent is back to you.
Thanks, Jeffrey. And the main news again. The former governor of Kano State, Malam Abdullahi Ganduje, and Senator Jibola Bashiru today emerged as the national chairman and secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress. The party ratified the appointments during its 12th National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. The Nigeria Labour Congress has given the federal government up to Friday, August the 11th, to withdraw its court summons or risk a nationwide industrial action. That's news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching.